Shay's Plays. I am back. I've been gone for a little while, but my absence is your gain because if you watch all the way to the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can enter to win a $20 Fandango gift card to see Ant Man 3, Quantumania. Now, you can see other things if you want to, but you're really going to want to see Ant Man 3. But in honor of the soon-to-be release of Ant Man 3, I decided to do a special presentation. My top 5 insect-related movies. For my 90s folks, no, Tremors is not on the list. I know. I tried to bend the rules a little bit so I could get it on the list, but worms aren't insects, you know? Tremors is damn good TV, though. And, I mean, Kevin Bacon. But anyways, as with all the specials, I'm only going to give the Shea's Play score because this is my top 5, so I'm only going to give my score, kind of keep it right and tight. But yeah, so let's get into it. In no particular order of importance, I'm going to start off with my number 5, A Bug's Life. This is a solid 8 for me, okay? It does not get talked about as much as a Toy Story, which came out very similar times that it did. Well, Toy Story 2 came out very close to the release of A Bug's Life, but it is an amazing movie that plays up the lovable loser story, okay? Somebody mucks it up and then has to fix it. And from the bug perspective, okay? It's an amazing movie, has a great voice cast. Kevin Spacey is Hopper, the villain Grasshopper, and now we kind of understand why he played a lot of these villainous roles, but you know, we won't get into that. But it definitely doesn't get talked about enough. If you haven't seen A Bug's Life, rent it, watch it, get on Disney Plus, do your thing, okay? Number 4, Ants. Now, this is another solid 8 for me. Ants is an amazing, nostalgic movie for me because I saw it in the dollar theater. Yeah, okay, for all of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s, I saw it in the dollar theater. Fun time. The difference between Ants and A Bug's Life is they do their best to maximize the amount that they can do to get the best out of that PG rating. A Bug's Life is very child-centric, okay? So you're gonna take your family to see it, whereas Ants had a real adult feel to it. Okay, another movie with a great voice cast: Jennifer Lopez, Sylvester Stallone, Woody Allen. I mean, it's a Woody Allen movie. Again, doesn't mean good things now, but in 1998, it did what it needed to do. So, another thing the little cherry on top of Ants is they do a great job of building a world that feels big. You feel like an ant watching it, and that's amazing job, especially with the technology they had at the time. Number 3, The Fly. Man, this Cronenberg classic, okay? Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis at their best, working as scientists, working to figure out teleportation, and guess what? A fly jumps in the teleporter when they test it. And a man slowly starts turning into a fly. I mean, Jeff Goldblum really bugs out.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
But I digress. No, it is a solid 7 for me. And I say a solid 7, so it's kind of like solid 7, 7.5. It's a 1986 movie, so it is right in the middle of the 80s. I mean, it is an 80s movie. Doesn't have hints of the 90s or the 70s. It's a really body horror movie kind of setup. So it's gross at times, which kind of knocks it down a little bit on the scale, but it executes it so perfectly. Also, there's some cliche themes. There's some moments that are very 80s, if you will. So that knocks it down a bit. But if you can get through it, it is a definite fun watch. What happens when a man turns into a fly? I mean, if that's not 80s, I don't know what is. Number 2 on my list, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Not a bug movie, huh?
Wrong. Wrong.
Ants, check. Bees, check. For some reason, the scorpions, check. I mean, this was at the height of Rick Moranis' run in the late 80s and early 90s to where he was in everything or referenced in everything. And the movie does an amazing job at creating another world that feels familiar, but also feels large to these kids that have shrunk. And then it drops them in this coming of age story, creates a really good coming of age story to where they have to be very adult in order to survive. But a juxtaposed to that is the adult story of disaster. I shrunk my kids. They're out in the yard somewhere. They could be dead, Does a great job of that. This is a definite 9 play score for me. And the number 1 on the list, James and the Giant Peach. Now, yeah, you're probably wondering why that is, but it's a Roald Dahl book. It's a Roald Dahl story. Are the bugs and the peach huge? Yeah, so it's definitely a Roald Dahl story. But, just at the height of claymation and at the end of stop motion, we get a Tim Burton film that really encapsulates and really is that peak of his works, of his activities at the time. We saw A Nightmare Before Christmas, very recent, very closely to the release of James and the Giant Peach. And it has an aesthetic to it that is Tim Burton. But it's also just very refreshing to watch that kind of adaptation of the story in itself. Now, James and the Giant Peach is not Tim Burton's story, but one of the things he doesn't get credit for enough, which you see in this movie, is he creates very emotional, sound movies. They kind of touch you. They touch your heart a little bit, and he does an amazing job with this. The story is brought to the screen in a way that just me having seen it as a kid in the theater, it just hits every beat that it does in the book. And this is representative of the times to where books were written as books and happened to be made into movies instead of books being made as books in order to be movies. And so, I hope you get what I'm saying, but it's now there's really a big push to, I'm going to create a bestseller in order to get a movie deal and to make all this money in licensing and all of that. But it's a solid 9.5 for me. Nostalgia oozing through the floorboards. I mean, it's a great, fun movie. And there you have it. That is my top 5 insect-related movies in no particular order, but numbered. And now, you're probably wondering, why is Ant Man 1 and 2 not on the list? Well, because they're not good enough to be on this list. I'm just throwing it out there. But if you want to see the third one, which I believe will be good enough to be on this list, then what I need you to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're watching this, most likely you'll probably subscribe. But if not, go ahead, subscribe, like this video, and in the comments, just drop me a comment. What is your favorite insect-related movie? Or your top 5. You want to go ahead and go toe-to-toe? I love seeing it. Again, as I mentioned before, I'm a big community guy. I want to hear from you guys. So you do that, and you're entered. That's it. On Tuesday, I'm going to do a short video. I'm going to do the drawing live. Well, probably not live. I'll probably record it, but you know what I'm saying. I'll do it. It's going to be up on Tuesday. So I'm going to announce the winner. And from there, drop me a comment, how to get in contact with you, and you can get this $20 Fandango gift card. So, as always, I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great month, year, life, all of that. And as always, peace, love, and film. Go ahead and play that music.